Well, hello everyone, Joe here again, and welcome back to another vlog. Today is a weirdly special day. It is my 1 year anniversary from having my full neck dissection, my full left side neck dissection. So it's kind of like the day my life changed, if ever there was one. Not my actual diagnosis day, the very first one, but probably this day more than any. And oh yeah, first things first, you might notice my voice is a little bit deeper today. I had a weekend. I went to a science fiction fantasy convention thing. There's some gaming stuff. I might have spoken an awful lot. And as you guys know, part of my neck dissection is that I lost use of my left hand side of my vocal cords, so voice is not what it used to be, and nor is it as strong as it used to be, but here I am. Now, I kind of want to talk about how far I've come and what's happened in that last year, because I do these little updates here and there and I speak about one thing in particular, but the whole year itself has been mad, I guess. I guess I'll start with the crap stuff. So, I had my surgery and I went in and I was in hospital for, from the Friday morning all the way through until the Wednesday afternoon, which is a long time to be in hospital for, and during that time the first few days I couldn't eat, couldn't drink, I couldn't swallow, so I couldn't sleep. I was choking on my own saliva, and that was all due to numbness in my throat and the way things had been, so I had to be fed by nasal gastric tube, and then obviously lots and lots of fluids going in through the wrist and stuff, plus antibiotics every few hours via IV, which is really actually painful, and they're very strong, painful antibiotics, so had to go through that kind of stuff. Had some friends and family come and visit, and that was really, really nice. So that kind of kept me picked up. It was very, very hard to see them because I knew the way they looked at me. Especially when I'm sitting there and having to pick up this little thing and spit in it, and because I couldn't swallow. But then, over time you get taught, physiotherapy, speech and language therapists. I had to wait the whole weekend before they arrived, and then they basically taught me how to drink and eat again, which was fantastic. And I went from not being able to manage water to having pasta and garlic bread within a week, and that is just like, oh my goodness, it's almost like it didn't happen. As soon as you kind of get into it. Dickhead neighbours, that's a different story. So it was definitely a really interesting time. It's like the old Chinese curse, may you live in interesting times. Thanks, mate. But yeah, so that happened, and then I came out, and after 6 weeks I went to go and see the oncologist. They cancelled my appointment to see the surgeon, saw the oncologist instead, and that's when he said they'd done they'd obviously done the lab work, and they said, yeah, it's anaplastic thyroid cancer. So I literally started chemotherapy a week and a half after that, and I went through my 6 cycles of BCX chemo. And during that time, obviously I lost all my hair, really lost all motivation for life. Like, I was almost given up, because you get told you have this 4 to 6 months to live, or months to live, and you're like, well, that's months is 2. Months could be 2. It could be 12. What is it? You kind of lose complete loss of motivation. Obviously, stopped working during that time and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know. I guess we circled the wagons, as it were, and I just really, really pulled family in, pulled friends in, saw friends, saw family, and really focused on the things that I needed to get done. Then we fast forward to December, and I had my first scan where we actually found out that the chemotherapy was keeping the cancer stable, which is brilliant news. And then we go another 2 months, and we find ourselves in February, and things are still stable, but my chemo has to stop at that point. So chemo stops. Then I have another scan 2 months after that, still stable. Another 2 months after that, still stable, and here we are now. And I'm having a 3-month break, which is absolutely mad. But during that time, I lived, and I did these things, and I did some things to make sure that I can use my arm again, because for a while I couldn't lift my arm up on its own, so I wouldn't have been able to go like this. So in the shower, I couldn't reach out and pick up my shampoo. I'd have to make sure that I used my right hand. And when I started having chemo, it did lots of damage to my veins. I was like this, I couldn't straighten my arm properly, so that was a bit tough. At one point I couldn't really wipe my backside properly, and my wife offered to do it for me, which, that's love, and that is worthy of respect. Like, massively worthy of respect. But you know, we went to Cornwall for Christmas, which we thought was going to be my last Christmas, and I think at this point it's pretty unlikely it's going to be. In my head, I've really struggled to see how that would be at this point. I don't know. Was I realistic or was I negative about the whole thing? Haven't got a clue. I also had an online community meetup where everyone from my gaming channel, I got a bunch of people, we all went up into London, had some drinks, had some food, had some really, really good times, good jokes, and then we went on holiday. Me and the wife went to a lovely, lovely place, Cape Verde, beautiful desert island, because you know, it's like huge big holiday, let's go and do it, let's go. And then we seen friends again, and then we also went off and went to America, as I spoke about in my last video, and we had a lovely time with family, considering the reasons that we were there. I ate my own weight, and you know what, Dad, you were right when you said the weight catches up with you 2 weeks after. I managed to lose some weight recently, and that was all through better diet and exercise, because I've been able to be more active, because I've pretty much recovered from chemo completely. Eating too much caught up with me, so we're back to being sensible with eating food and stuff like that in preparation for my holiday to Cornwall. And it feels like all I do is go on holiday this year. That's not a bad thing, I don't think, bearing in mind the circumstances. So yeah, we're going down to Cornwall, and we're going to be going bodyboarding, hopefully, which will be absolutely lovely. And that that's a year. That is a year. Wedding anniversary in a couple of weeks. Gonna be wonderful. 5 years. 5 years with my wife putting up with me, which is impressive. Impressive for her. She's done well, especially all the shit I've put her through. But yeah, that's kind of where we are and where things are at the moment. Still stable. And I asked the question in my last scan, my last scan result appointment, and I just said, and that's definitely the chemo, right? And the oncologist's response was, yes, it definitely is, because things were getting worse until we started it. It's like, that's a really good point. And now it's still, because I had scans and things were getting better, then suddenly it got worse, a lot worse, much quicker. Chemo happened, it stopped it, so chemo works. Weird, right? But that's it. I just want to talk about that, my thoughts and feelings, and kind of a recap over the last year of what's happened, because that's when things really, I guess, life kicked off for me, you know? I've suddenly realised that life is actually short. You know, you do have an expiration date, but you don't know when it's going to be. It's not printed on the side of your bottle. You just don't know. Oh yeah, scar update from the surgery. I suppose you might as well look. That's where we are. All the way up. Considering, it's a spot. Considering that there, that was awful. Like when I first had that done, it was really red, swollen. It was overlapped and like, I guess not a neat scar, because you move, don't you? And they had to remove a lot of tissue, so yeah, there was that. But yeah, I've kind of recovered from my surgery, apart from the fact that I'm numb. I still have some very interesting nerve sensations when I touch my ear. I touch it here and I can feel pins and needles down there, which makes no sense whatsoever. So it makes sleeping a funny one. Like, as long as it's forced and it's heavy, then it's okay. I was offered drugs to try and help fix it and try and reduce the discomfort, but I just said no, because at the time I was on chemo and I was taking fistfuls of tablets 4 or 5 times a day, so I didn't really need that. But yeah, this is where we are now, and I couldn't be happier with my progress, I guess. I can talk, I can eat, I don't have any issues. Anything that I really do still get is a little bit of indigestion, and that's very much down to what I've had to eat or drink. Coffee is a big no-no, so I can't drink coffee. Or if I do, it comes with a price and I have to accept that price. The iron price of coffee. But yeah, so this is where we are. Not really talk about much more. Might record something else later on to talk about something else I want to talk about. Might save it for tomorrow. I don't know. But yeah, do, if you want to, feel like subscribing, feel like hitting a like, leave me a comment, let me know if you're going through something similar. I'd be interested to hear your experiences if you've had a neck dissection and how it went. I think mine was one of the worst they've had to do. The surgeon did say if they'd known it was anaplastic thyroid cancer, they wouldn't have had surgery, they wouldn't have done it. So, because it's quality of life and malarkey. But you know what, I've lived a year since then, so I'm all good. I think that's fine. I would easily accept that thing. I'd do it again, knowing what I know now. Less cancer is always good. But anyway, if you do feel like it, give it a share, all that good stuff, and I will see everyone in the next video. No disclaimers this time, because you already know what they are. Right, catch you on later. Bye-bye.